How old are you again?
21.
See? You're 21 and you started on record label. That's amazing. I'll go do it. So it's Caitlin Richmond. Rich, what's your full name?
My name is Caitlin Richmond.
There we go. I am
Full
here
name?
with Caitlin Richmond,
Hello.
who started her own record label, and I thought this was pretty amazing and the perfect person to have on the J word. So introduce yourself and tell all the listeners about you and your record label.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I'm actually so excited about this. This is my first interview, podcast, anything. My name is Kay. Most people know me as KRich or Caitlin, and I'm 21.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most interesting things about me is I was born in South Africa.
Oh.
Yep.
So I think you told me this when we met, right?
Yeah,
I
like
remember.
most people are quite surprised, but yeah, that's an interesting fact. And I run events, I make music, I'm at uni, and I've just started my own record label.
Yes,
called KRich
congratulations.
Records, named after me, thank you. And yeah, I'm just navigating the industry at the moment, just
I love that.
being a young creative, just trying to do my thing.
I love that. A young creative woman, yes.
Like you.
So tell me about KRich Records.
Okay, so KRich Records is basically a record label at heart, obviously, but then it's supposed to be like an umbrella platform for, events, creatives, and I want to get, like blogs, podcasts, interviews, photos, kind of all at the same time. But then when it's going to be older, so like when I'm a bit, finished uni and I have more time, I want to then start signing artists and like really immerse myself in actually running a record label.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what it is, but it's trying to get like the scene together, because the UK scene at the moment.
Yeah.
I want to capture it, in my record label.
Right, it's the beginning of something, basically.
It's the beginning of something special.
Yeah, no, I love that. Have you always known that you wanted to work in music?
Definitely.
Always?
Definitely. I think I was about 5, maybe 6, and my grandma bought me like a little one of those tiny keyboards for Christmas, and it was like, I can't remember, maybe Yamaha or something, and I just was like obsessed with this thing, and I would just, that was all I kind of did. And I think then she sort of sent me to piano lessons, and it became the only thing I would go to when I was bored or sad or just whatever I was feeling. That was my channel.
Yeah.
And then when I got a bit older, like I carried on doing lessons. I did my grade 8, and then I always knew. And then I started writing songs when I was like teenager, and then it was only sort of recently, like the last year, I took the more businessy stance. But before that, I definitely always knew. It was always just felt obsessed.
Yeah.
Just had that like obsession with either listening or making or anything, just anything to do with it. I was obsessed with that.
I get that. I feel like everyone who works in music at one point, they started off wanting to be like a musician.
Yeah.
When I was younger,
Definitely.
I wanted to sing as well, but a lot of people told me I can't sing, but I disagree.
I disagree.
I disagree, but a lot of people tell you I can't sing, but they're just haters. But that's that.
No, it's like the pop star dream when you're young, but it's still my dream now. So we'll see what happens. But yeah.
Would you sign yourself to your record label?
Well, yeah, like when I release my music, it's going to be released through KRich Records.
Yes, I love that. So then you own, you'll own everything, basically.
Yeah, so I'll own like all the masters, all the rights.
Yes, I love that.
I'll
you
have,
don't
like,
want other
full
people
control.
making money off of you.
Yeah,
I love that.
exactly.
I love that, yes.
But I will be fair with my artists. Like, I won't take advantage of them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to, like, rob them of their rights. I just want to be pushing out people who may not be able to get, like, the resources or the money or whatever they need.
I think that's the benefit of like independent record labels. They don't want to take advantage, like you said, like the big major labels. And I think a lot of people are too worried about being signed to like a major so they can be famous, get all this money, but they don't understand that sometimes you're signing your life away, basically.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they do really push out your music, and they'll make sure it gets heard, but they're gonna take like half your money, so
like
you're not
a
gonna
lot
even
of
see
your
that.
money.
Yeah, if not more.
Hope it's worth it.
Yeah.
So, why did you decide to just start your own label instead of like working for another label or like interning at one of the majors and stuff like that?
I mean, that's actually kind of interesting because I wouldn't turn down interning at a big label purely for the reason of learning. So like, I'd be open to doing it for like, I don't know, 6 months or a year, but purely to learn. Like, I would never want to work for someone else in the long term. And I think that's probably one of the main things that, I wouldn't say inspired, but like drove me to start my own thing, because I can't stand like working. Like, I used to have 3 jobs when I was like 16, and I just hated it. Like, I've always hated working for other people, so I've always been like,
I get that.
I want to do, exactly, I want to do my own thing. I don't know, it's just like this feeling of being trapped and like dreading that work. So, I mean, that is like a practical reason as to why I would be doing my own thing. But then, in terms of inspiration, I think, oh, this is going to sound cringe, but like, watching my friends perform, and also performing, like knowing how it feels to perform, and then watching my friends perform just really inspires me. Like, watching, you know, being at a venue and a gig, and your friends singing or rapping, it's like really special. And you know, when you feel like part of something,
I love that.
I really wanted to create what my world is like, and like share it with other people, because it's becoming like more popular. I think that scene, it's just nice to be able to invite people to it and share their music and share the vibes and just share all of that. So that's another thing. And yeah, I'm really inspired by the feeling of being busy.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. And I like building, and I like feeling like I've achieved something by building, and I love that journey. Like, I like knowing I've got a vision and pushing towards it. So.
That's really good. I think I'm kind of the same as well. I always wanted to work in music just because I want to be, like you said, a part of something that's bigger than myself and that's like influential. Do you know what I mean? And I also suck when it comes to working for other people. Like, I've been fired from so many jobs.
Yeah, it's like it feels like kind of like I feel trapped.
Yeah, constricted.
Yeah.
You want to be the boss. You want to be making the money. You don't want to be making the money for someone else.
For sure.
Yeah. So I definitely admire
It's always
you.
been that way though. Thank you. Yeah. It's always been that way though. Like, I've always been trying it. Like, when I was running Showcase Thursdays before, which was my weekly thing, and you know, I sell clothes and stuff, and you know, flip clothes on the side. So it's always like, I've always loved that feeling of being my own boss and just being able to control what I'm doing. And
so is that how you make money while you're at uni then?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Literally, I'll go to the charity shop, or sometimes just go in my cupboard, find old stuff, sell it.
Oh, I love that.
So I use Depop mainly.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes I'll just take like a weekend, or not a whole weekend, but like a day on the weekend, and just buy loads of stuff from a charity shop, and then just sell it for like 2, 3, 4, 5 times what I bought it for, and it's
damn.
So it's
so entrepreneurial. I love that.
I think so.
When I was at uni, I worked at Nando's. I worked at multiple show venues and stuff.
Yeah.
I worked at the Science Museum. Yeah, I hated all of it, to be honest. I mean, I didn't mind working at the venues. It's just that hours were really bad for me. But at the same time, it was like I was working at a music venue. I'm studying music, you know, so I didn't mind it.
I think sometimes it depends on what it is. Like, if I was, you know, offered an internship at like Universal, when I'm finishing uni, I wouldn't say no, because obviously I'm gonna need like some money.
You'd be stupid not to take
but
it.
But because I'd be learning about how to run a record label and immersing myself in that scene, I would definitely do it. But it would be like a stepping stone. I would never want to think, oh, I'm gonna work here forever. So. But yeah, I do. I feel that work especially at uni, the bar work.
Yeah.
And I worked at Spoons for 2 years.
Oh my god.
I know.
I've heard some horror stories about spoons.
Honestly.
Oh god, no. I can't even say it on here
No.
because it's so gross. No.
I don't know how I did it, to be honest. Like, I almost died a few times. Not really, but like, I wanted to die a few times.
I felt that.
Yeah.
When I was working at McDonald's, I was in sixth form, so I was working at McDonald's on the weekends, and I was 5 days a week at sixth form. Yeah, no, I wanted to die then. Yeah, I would not recommend working at McDonald's, not even to my worst enemy. So, it's no surprise, obviously, that there are huge gender disparities at like the biggest record labels in music. So, in the US, there are 13 major record labels operating, and only one of those labels is run by a woman, which is Sony's Epic Records. It's run by Julie Greenwald, and one other label is co-run by a woman. And as of April 2019 as well, wait, hold on. It's a similar situation here in the UK as well.
Yeah,
when it
isn't
comes
Rebecca
to
Allen like the only president of like Decca Records or something like that? Like, she's like one of the only.
Yeah.
I think she's Rebecca Allen.
It says, yeah, and
She's a powerful boss lady. President of the UK.
UK has one female label president and one co-president when it comes to Universal
Rebecca
Music
Allen
here,
is like
someone you look up to.
Yeah, well, yeah, she's doing a lot. Like, I mean, she's the president of like a whole record label, and I just think
The one lady in the whole of the UK.
I know it's bad.
It's horrible.
It's bad, but it's like I would look at it as I'm glad that she is there to inspire others. Like at least she's there, but it is kind of. It's one of those sort of scenes where, especially hip hop, where I don't see a lot, and I'm always looking out for the girls. Like I'm always looking for the girls in the crowd, and like I've got my group and stuff, but I want more. Like I'm always like I wish there was more.
That's why we have you, though, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But if you think about it as well, in the US, they're only having one female president of a major record label, and the US is like
Huge.
double the size of the UK. Like that's crazy to me.
It is definitely crazy.
When you hear about stuff like this, did it at all like deter you from wanting to start your own? Did you think, holy shit,
No.
like can I do this?
Not really. I think that's just me though. Like I know there's probably people who that would definitely deter, and
I can understand
but
that though.
for me, like I'm just tunnel visioning here.
Right.
Like I'm just even if I don't see someone who looks like me doing what I want to do, I want to be that person, and I want to be that person that others can see doing something. Like I would love the idea of people looking up to me in the future as, well, she's doing it, like why can't I do it? And yeah, I mean it is one of those things that's just how do you get more women to those roles? Like we need to inspire more people.
I definitely think that there's a lot of women who would want to be in those roles and who want to be. I think it's just the way the industry is set up though.
And how do we get them to like, in the cases where they're not confident enough or they feel, deterred, how do we get them to overcome that beyond whoever else is in control? How do we get them to start up their own things and like, do their own events, and especially in hip hop.
Yeah.
Especially in I know it's in all genres, but especially hip hop.
Hip hop is definitely very male dominated. And that's the genre of music that you kind of work in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was the most challenging thing about starting your own label?
Ooh, challenging. I mean,
think about someone who's listening, right? And think that they want to start their own label. What advice would you give them?
Okay.
You got to go into detail because
Okay.
I want to know.
Okay.
I want to know.
Okay. I mean, for me, I think a lot of people struggle with. They have an idea and then they keep talking about this idea but they don't execute.
Yeah.
And I think that's more to do with the person, like, not necessarily being lazy. Like, if that's something someone's really passionate about, they just need to execute. And, like, it sounds so simple, but all you need to do when you're starting out, when you have that idea, is just writing it all out, like, manifesting it and planning, and then, you know, doing your research. So at the moment, I'm compiling, like, a really long list of UK hip-hop blogs and magazines, because I want someone to write an article about me, but that's not gonna just come to me. Like, no one, like, a magazine's not gonna come up to me at the very beginning.
Exactly.
I'm gonna have to go out and get it, and I think that's probably one of the hardest things for a lot of people to do, is just get up and go and do it. And I think that is, you know, people want stuff fast and they want it, like, now, and they don't want to wait, and they don't have patience.
They don't want to work for it.
Yeah, and I think for me that's not been a huge problem for me, but I can understand that's a big factor when it comes to people, like, taking off.
Yeah.
But oh my god, you have to do your A&R firstly. Like, you have to look at which artist you want, like, you know, what scene are you in, what's your audience, who are you looking for. But I've been doing events as well, so that's a whole nother, like, kettle of fish. So yeah, record label, it's just getting a team as well. Like, get your creative vision down on paper and just start executing. Like, if you want to get a space, like a recording studio, you can either go and, like, you know, record at Pirate, or you can build up your savings or something and, you know, invest in your own. But I think it's just executing.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah, execute, like, just getting from where it's written to where
making it.
You're moving, and you're, like, you know, you're making actions, that kind of thing.
So how did you make your event happen? Like, I watched it over Instagram and it looked so cool. You had you had the label on the, like, merch and the balloons. That was all so cool.
Thank you. That was the merch. Yeah. How did I do it? Like, how did I go about it? Well,
did your friends help you? Did uni help you?
It kind of started off as I just made a logo.
Yeah. Did you do the logo yourself?
I did.
That's great.
But the only reason I did it is because I didn't have any money to pay a designer.
That's
I was like...
But it looks good, though.
Thank you. But I was like, how do I get a logo if I haven't got, you know, enough money to pay a designer? And so I was like, I'm just going to try it myself. I'm just going to, you know, look at fonts, look at images, and try and compile it myself. And initially it was supposed to be a draft. So, like, I had the flyer plan from my previous event, which my friend actually recommended. What's it called? Canva.
Wait.
The app.
Canva.
Canva.
Yes. Someone told me that as well. Yeah.
I used that app literally to make the flyer for the first event I did, so Showcase Thursdays, and it was initially supposed to be a draft to give to a designer, and then it ended up with. I was like, oh, I actually kind of like this.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like it, and I don't have enough money to pay a designer, so I'm gonna roll with it. I believe in it, so let's go. And then the same thing happened with the logo and the font. I just kept. I have a whole book, like, of different pictures, and honestly, it wasn't like a overnight thing. Like, I was going through all these different fonts and laying them out, and sticking them in different ways, and then I was like, okay, just pick one. Like, in the end, I was like, okay, I've just got to pick this because I'm gonna go crazy if I don't pick one. And then I got the logo. I mean, it's pretty simple. You can just send it to, like, printing companies, and then they print it on t-shirts and balloons and stuff. And then I had, like, a vision to have merch, like, have t-shirts. So I literally just went to a printing company and got the logo printed. And
did people buy, like, merch and stuff at the event?
Yeah, a few people actually did. And I didn't even think anyone would buy. Like, I had no expectation.
Yeah.
It was more of display, and, you know, like, I even did some myself, like, by hand. So all the ones on the display that were there, I got, like, a screen print thing, and I had to, like, you kind of push the paint through.
Yeah.
and those I did them by hand. Like, they were made with love, you know. And then I had like a little order board, and it had the size, and you just put your email if you wanted one. And a few people did actually buy them, and I was like,
that's pretty amazing. You know, like, in the future, you're going to be telling these stories about, like, your humble beginnings.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
I know.
And you have all of those stories as well, which is
know.
really good. I love that.
But yeah, the balloons were a hit. Even with, I mean, like, I was surprised with a lot of the guys, you know, were like taking photos with the balloons, and I was like, everyone loves them. Like, I didn't think it would be such a
big hit.
Yeah. There's a few pictures of them. But yeah, that was another thing, like, back to your earlier question, like, what are the hardest things about planning? So with events, like, I have been doing this for a little bit longer, but you literally have to plan everything, and you have to, like, that is probably the hardest thing, is planning for an event. So you have to make sure everything is taken care of, and especially like finance and stuff.
Oh, definitely. I was gonna ask you about that as well.
I had a big plan for that. Like, I had to write down exactly. I had to make a giant spreadsheet of all the little things, like the balloons and the venue and whatever else. And
did you, like, make a profit, or did you break even?
No, I put my own money into it.
Yeah, you always have to at the beginning, though.
Yeah, I mean, I
that's how you get something out of it.
I was happy though. I wouldn't look at it as a loss. I'm looking at it as an investment.
I love that.
I'm trying to change the word loss to investment. I mean, okay, physically I lost money, but, like, it was invested into something that I, like, wanted to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like money going back into you, basically.
Yeah, like, I'm not sad. I'm not sad at all about it. I'm happy that it happened, because, you know, I got a whole vibe out of it. Content, you know, people knowing the name and whatever, like, it was definitely worth it. But I don't want to be, like, losing money every single time. But definitely at the start, I think people need to be prepared to put their time and money into what they love.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Not a lot of people are willing to do that, and that's why a lot of, like, plans, they never turn into anything. They just always stay a plan, right?
Yeah. But it's just kind of thinking, like, prioritizing your money as well. Like, if you've got, you know, I don't know, if you want to buy the new, like, Yeezys or something, and you're trying to run an event, that, like, £700 could go on.
£700.
Oh, well,
for Yeezys.
I know. I don't own Yeezys, but
some of them are really ugly anyway.
I mean, yeah. I don't personally have never bought them, because I think, like, I look at the price, I'm like, but it's like, if you want to buy Yeezys and you know, you're not trying to do something, then that's fine. But if you're, like, buying stuff like that, and then you're also saying, oh, I haven't got any money to, like, run an event or start up my thing, then
prioritize.
It's being able to go, no, I won't have those. I'm gonna have this, because at the end of my summer, like, I wasn't spending money on anything other than that launch party.
Yeah.
And, like, all the ads and stuff, I was just pushing money into it. But
see, people are going to listen to this podcast, and they're going to be inspired by what you're saying.
Oh my
like,
God,
okay,
really?
This is how she's done it. This is what I'm going to do as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're setting, like, a good example to other people.
Oh, thanks.
I love that.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
But, I mean, design, if you've got any design, like, you know, ideas, and you're thinking of, how do I execute, like, I've got a design. Literally, if you got, like, all I did was I went on Google and just typed in t-shirt printing companies and looked all the, like, compared the prices, but I think my camera's died. But yeah, like, there's loads of designers though. Like, not everyone has to go down the route of, like, doing it themselves. You know, if you've got, like, a spare £100 or whatever, just, you know, seek out a designer. But you have to go and do it. That's the key. You have to go, get up and source that yourself.
I think even with me and this, like, podcast, I think it was just doing it because I had the idea for a long time, but then eventually I let it go for a little bit. Then I was like, fuck it, I want to do it, you know. So then it's just doing it. You get that first episode recorded, and the next thing you know, you have like 20, and then you got loads of listeners and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just doing it, and I think if you just take the first step, the rest comes a lot easier.
Yeah, like it's kind of like doing, like, if you keep just doing things and like doing a lot of things quickly, you'll get into that zone. Also, another thing is, this isn't easy, and this isn't easy for a lot of people, but just not caring about what other people think. Like, I know it's easy to say that, but I'm just like one of those people, like, not really bothered about what other people are saying or thinking about me, because I'm not paying attention. I'm paying attention to myself and my own life. So I think people just have to, like, not listen to other people. I know it's hard. Definitely. And there's a lot of things that make it hard to not care about what people say, but if you want to do something, you like run a record label, you're going to have a lot of people saying a lot of shit along the way.
Like,
or
why
anything.
not just work at another label? Like, you're not going to be able to do it. It's not going to be a success. All of that.
Yeah. Like, for artists as well, like, I see it a lot. You get a lot of hate, and, you know, sometimes people are going to dislike your videos and, like, comment crap on your photos, but you just got to like, literally not care. Like, you've got to just be like, I don't care.
Just checked into yourself.
Nice. That's hard, but that's something that luckily I feel comes easy to me, and I'm not focused on that, but
I love that.
It's a process.
Yeah, it is definitely. Like, no one just wakes up one day and is kind of like that. It's definitely a process. I definitely agree.
You gotta, like, watch what your ears are hearing as well. Like, don't hang out with negative people. Yeah. Don't listen to negative people. Like, you know, everyone's probably got a negative friend. Don't, like, just limit your time with them. Don't listen to what they're saying, because even if you've got, like, a friend who's not overly rude to you or, like, mean to you, if they're saying, oh, I hate life and, like, I'm sad, and, like, if they're being really down, it's gonna pull you down as well. Yeah. So
I definitely agree.
Definitely, like, hanging out with people and spending time with people who are gonna
the people you surround yourself
bring you up.
So too many points were made there. Did you come across any setbacks while trying to, like, execute your event and the record label and that?
Yes.
What happened? Tell me about them.
This was the story for you.
Tell me about it.
It's so bad, and, like, I just think about it now, and I'm just like, I don't think about it, but, like, when I think back to it, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so glad, like, that's, like, over. But it was, so my launch was on Sunday the 8th, and on Friday the 6th of September, I was actually out doing the hand screen printing for these t-shirts. And I remember, like, I was in like, Surrey, so didn't have any reception, like, in the building that I was in, and I just remember, like, I didn't get any phone calls or anything, no reception, and then I went straight to a, like, networking event after that, had all my shirts, and then I was going to a Route 37 gig, and I was super excited about that. So some of my friends rapped at that group's event, actually, and yeah, like, I was on my way, and I got in a cab, like, I was on my way to London, I was ready to go out, and then I've just gone on to my emails with the venue, and I've just got this email from the venue saying, we're really sorry to inform you we cancelled your event.
Oh my god.
And, like, I'm literally in the cab, like, this is Friday night at, like, 9-10 p.m, and I'm on my way out, and I was actually on my way out partly to see them and partly to promote the event, because it's 2 days, coming up in 2 days, and I just see this email, and I'm like, what the hell, like, what the fuck is this? And, you know, I'm reading, like, why, and they've said, you know, you've had a lack of communication today, and, like, lack of ticket sales or evidence of ticket sales, and I was like, I just started, like, I was like, what? Like, what do I do? I mean, what do you do when it's 2 days before?
Right.
On the Friday night.
No time to find
No
another
time,
venue.
and I'm just thinking, okay, like, okay, cool. So I get out of the cab at Waterloo, and I was like, okay, I'm not going out now, because it was like 10:30 probably by this point, and it's Friday night. There's no point in me going. How am I gonna like figure out what's going on and then go to that gig?
Yeah.
So I called up the venue, and they were just saying, like, you know, you didn't pick up any of your calls, and I was like, I didn't have reception or anything. And then, like, I had a 45-minute conversation with, like, the manager, and she was just saying, like, you haven't sold enough tickets. And I mean, to be fair, we hadn't sold like loads of tickets, but we hadn't sold none. And I think they were just a bit worried about whether people were going to show up on Sunday. And I don't know, I think there was I don't know what was going on, but I think there was an element, like a little bit of judginess or something going on there, because it was very sudden and it was really unprofessional. And then, you know, she said, look, there's nothing we can do, like, you can call the events manager in the morning and, you know, speak to her, but she's going to give the same answer, like, we're not doing it. And I'm like, this bitch, like, I've signed a contract, like,
You signed a contract?
Yeah, like, we signed a contract, because I obviously had to pay them to rent the room. And, like, I mean, I always try and leave a paper trail, you know, of if you're working with people and there's money involved, it's good to have it in writing, because you never know what someone's going to do, like cancel your event 2 days before your event. And then I was literally like, this is so bad, like, I have tons of flyers, like, with this address printed off. I've told everyone I know about this bloody launch, and then now it's not happening. And you know, I was kind of just thinking about how I'm going to solve this, like, if I call back on Saturday morning, you know, is she gonna change her mind, or am I gonna have to find a new venue, or like, what's going on? So I started messaging a few, because it was Friday night as well. So the other problem was venues would be, you know, in full swing with whatever was going on Friday night. So I'm like, okay, you know, let me just, you know, relax. Let me just take a breather, have a fag, like, just chill and just be calm and wait till the morning. So in the morning I ended up, like, you know, before I called the venue, I ended up calling, like, Hoxton Basement and a few other venues just to see, you know, will you host my launch party tomorrow? And they're like, what do you mean? Like, this is, because that's just not really, that's kind of a no-no in events.
Right.
You don't just call up the day before, can I have, like, this big launch? And I didn't tell, I think the best bit is I never told, I didn't tell anyone, because I was just like, I can't tell anyone this.
You don't want to panic anyone in case you fix it, you know? I love that.
And I was like, okay. But at this point, I was like half accepting that it might not happen. And then I was thinking, so there's like 3 possibilities. 1, it goes ahead. 2, it goes ahead at a different venue. Or 3, it doesn't go ahead at all, because I can't find. So I'm like, okay, I've got 3 possible scenarios. And then I'm on the phone to the events manager, like, you know, and I read through the contract, and I just managed to find, like, not a loophole, but I found, like, part of their policy, and that they couldn't cancel it, like, within less than 2 weeks or something. But I spent, like, hours on the phone to them, telling them this, and then in the end, I was like, I need to speak to your, like, main boss, and I ended up speaking to them, and, you know, this was, like, 8 in the morning, and this started, and I finally got a call about 3 p.m. So bearing in mind the whole day, I'm like, still don't know whether it's happening tomorrow. And this is like my baby, like my launch party. Like, I was so on edge. And then I got a call at like 3 p.m. and it's like the big boss of, because there's like, they're a venue, but then they've got like a chain of other venues. And I mean, this guy wasn't happy because it was Saturday, it was his day off. And he was like, look, I'm sorry with how it's been cancelled. Like, I'm blah, blah, blah. But in a nutshell, your event's going back on. And I was like, I remember, like, I was dancing around the room, like, on my phone, but it was just...
But you said that on the website it said that they can't cancel your event without 2 weeks' notice.
Yeah, in our policy, that's what it said. But, you know, I was speaking to 2 people who just worked at the venue, and, you know, it was really not a simple sort of conversation at all for some reason. Like, they were just like adamant it wasn't happening. They were like, it's not happening, we have cancelled it. And it was cancelled on their website and everything. And
oh my god.
I know, and I was like, what? What? Like, this doesn't happen normally. And then,
did you ever think that they were like not taking advantage but messing you around a bit because they're like, oh, she's just a girl?
I'm not sure what. I think there was an element of...
And you're young as well.
Yeah,
I
think there was an element of, like, me being quite young and stuff, but they also... I think they were just worried that it was a risk, and they kept talking about risk, like, you know, lack of ticket sales equals you might not have people showing up, and it was just really bad. And I think some people might have, like, the way they said no, it was like really final, but some people would have left it there, but I kept going and going and going, and I was like, I want to speak to this person, and I was speaking to all these different people about it. Finally got to like their boss, who, you know, took like about an hour to sort this out, and it, you know, they had to cancel this. They cancelled all the staff, so they told all staff they weren't working on Sunday, and they had to rebook all the staff. But
that's their fault.
I know, but like it was awful, and I think it was probably the worst thing that could have happened.
Sounds like it.
Like, I don't think there is anything like what is worse than literally your venue cancelling on you 2 days before. Like, even if it was a week before, it'd have been okay. But I think the best thing about it, so that was the step back. But
you
I
overcame
did.
it.
I literally, I didn't cry or anything, or like, you know, freak out. I just was
cried.
like, I wanted to cry.
I don't do well in situations like that. Like, I would have started crying.
I think I'm pretty good in stressful situations, but I mean, that was really pushing it. And I think the main thing was, the only person, I texted my friend Chris, APL, and I said to him, like, Chris, something really bad's happened. I need to call you later on. And he said, okay, darling, like, don't worry. But I didn't tell him what it was.
Right.
So he and 2 of his artists were performing.
Oh.
So still, even to 3 p.m, day before the event, it's still cancelled. I haven't told a single person.
Yeah.
Didn't tell any of the artists. Didn't tell anyone involved. Like, I told my mum.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, I know. But, like, didn't tell anyone because I was like, I need to sort this out. And luckily, not luckily, but I did. But I had to overcome it on my own, and I didn't want anyone to panic. I didn't want, like, word to get out, but I did sort up a backup venue and everything. But that was my biggest setback, I think.
Sounds stressful.
Yeah.
But you dealt with it like a proper leader, you know, like
thanks.
a proper head of a record label. Do you know what I mean? I love that.
Yeah, but I think it was really important that I didn't tell anyone, because, I mean, now, you know, people find out now, then cool. Because we did actually get, like, a good amount of ticket sales. And, like,
I was going to ask, how many people ended up turning up?
About 100 or so.
That's good.
It wasn't, like, loads, but, it was a Sunday and stuff, but
It's a start.
You know, we hit the minimum bar spend and everything, and that, I think they were worried, you know, like, 5 people were going to show up, but it was super, like, unfair. It wasn't very cool.
To cancel it just 2 days before, that's pretty messed up, I think. That doesn't give you any time to, like,
Not
fix
at all.
anything, like a backup or anything. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't give you time to let everyone know, oh, it's happening somewhere else now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's unfair on you.
Yeah, but it was, you know, it was sorted out, and I sort of felt like, because it was a good turnout, and they saw that, some of the staff, you know, saw that, and it was just kind of like in your face,
Big
like,
middle finger.
like,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was so happy, and like the funniest thing is, like afterwards, you know, we have a good relationship now, in the sense of they've been really nice to me since, but
they're not gonna try and mess you around anymore.
no,
Like,
but
they know that you mean business, because you could have easily just stopped after that first lady had been like, right, well, it's cancelled, but you were like, no, let me speak to this person, let me speak to this person, I want to speak to your manager's manager and the manager's manager. Do you know what I mean?
But it was fully cancelled. Like, I went on their website, it said this event has been cancelled, and I was like, oh my
They
god,
underestimated
like,
you.
Yeah, and
They
I'm just
underestimated you a lot.
I'm so happy though, like that it did go on. Like when I got that phone call from that guy, I was so happy that it was still happening and that it was just like I was like, okay, cool, and then I got over it, carried on with the promotion, you know.
Love that.
But that was my biggest setback, and I don't think it can ever go worse than that. So I don't think it will ever happen that bad. So now I feel ready for whatever someone
you
throws
gotta
at me.
like appreciate that it happened as well, because if you think about it, you have this story to tell, you know, so when anyone, like, people, you can tell people, like, I fucking worked for this, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
But it was you know, it was really shitty because, you know, you don't expect that for your first big, you don't expect that that's going to happen. Like, you probably have this idea that something really bad's going to happen somewhere down the line, but you never think it's, you know, going to be the first launch, and you don't think it's going to be that bad. But now I feel like I'm even more like
determined,
ready,
prepared.
And ready as well for
whatever comes your way now.
And I'm not,
and there's going to be loads, you know, it's life, there's going to be loads of stuff coming your way,
definitely.
But you dealt with that one, which I think you dealt with it really well. So you can deal with whatever's coming in it.
And it's really cool because the reasons they say it was cancelled, it weren't an issue.
Exactly.
And it was such a good night. Like there was a good amount of people, and like it was just the vibe in there was really good. So I was just so pleased, like that it.
I'm glad.
But yeah, that was my story.
Yes.
So be prepared, people.
It's a good.
Be prepared for you, but just I think like, you know.
Prepare for the worst.
Prepare for the worst. Prepare for someone cancelling your shit 2 days. Like, prepare for that and you'll be fine.
And so we should probably wrap this up. But I like to end with, like, asking whoever I'm talking to just who we should be looking out for, like, music-wise, and what kind of female artists are you into? Hip-hop specifically, because, you know.
There is so much right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about anyone who's, like, you know, already kind of known about, obviously, like, D-Block Europe and stuff. I'm not going to talk about that, but there's so many. I mean...
Who are you listening to?
House of Pharaohs.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know them.
Yes, they were meant to play at the venue that I'm working at now, but I think it got cancelled, unfortunately.
Oh, I think they're touring at the moment. Yeah, they're really cool. They're definitely, like, going somewhere. Like, they're cool. I mean, all the people who performed at my launch, they were actually all guys. Yeah. But this next one, I want some more girls. I feel like the first event I did.
So if anyone's listening, any female artists.
If there are any female rappers or singers out there, hit me up. But yeah, like, they were all my friends, and I wanted my friends there to, and I don't have enough female rapper friends, but one of my favorite,
though. They
exist. One of my favorite female rappers that I am friends with is Yezi. Yezi is she's from Connect House. She's really cool. She's doing her own thing as well. Got her own like events brand thing. But yeah, I mean, there's so many, like Skinny Malone, Kiko, Tax, all of them guys, and Omari and Track Out and stuff. They're all cool, and I'm really liking a girl called Juice Menace right now. She is. I think she's gonna, like, blow. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I wanna get her, and there's another girl, Sophie Damasi.
Oh, I've heard of her.
Yeah, those two, I'm, like, really interested in getting them to perform at another event, because I love their sound. And, you know, Katie as well. Katie First Goliath is managed by my friend, and he's actually a friend of mine as well. He's just released a new music video, and I think it's just so well directed, and I feel like it's got the potential to just blow. But yeah, I think in terms of people I know and I want to book, those two girls are really something. Yeah.
I love that. You should plug your Instagram and the KRich Instagram.
So I'm gonna give you guys my business account. Instagram is at KRich Records. It's just the letter K and then Rich Records. Twitter handle is the same. Facebook is the same, but it's got a hyphen in between the K and the Rich. And yeah, website coming soon. It's going to be krichrecords.com.
Yes.
But just one thing, please don't anyone call it KRich. I know it looks like KRich, but it's not. It's K. Yeah, it's K.
Okay, this was fun. I'm so glad we did this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on here. It's like my relaunch episode,
Woo!
so it's a special one.
It's the launch
Yes.
and my launch together.
Yes, let's do this.